Hey, this is Jack Downs with a video about the Audacity project, creating a montage or a dialogue montage or a dialogue montage checkerboard. It's all the same thing. Should be a somewhat fun little assignment, which gives you a little more experience in Audacity. The idea of using multiple tracks in Audacity and moving things around, and some of the tools you can use for that. So let's go ahead. You should have the handout, or you can find it here on Brightspace for this project, little in-class and homework project. The main idea as you read through is that you're going to go to a big pile of sound bites, all these little sound clips from old movies, TV shows, and stuff like that. You're going to go through, there's a huge pile of them. You're going to go through them and find 7 to 10 in all. In fact, you're going to probably you should take notes of the ones you find. Eventually, you're going to populate this worksheet with them. At least 7 is required. If you want to do more, you could do more for extra credit. You may not fulfill in these blanks quite yet. You could perhaps make a note physically, make a little handmade note. You should get this handout in class, and you could do it with paper and hand this in afterwards. But you want to keep track of the tracks you're going to use, and then you will decide what order you put them in. What are you going to choose? What order are you going to do? The idea is you have a theme of the title or conversation, kind of like the theme of the story that you're trying to tell, or give the story like a title. That will give us the idea of what is the story you're telling with these. Okay, so I'll let you read through that yourself, and then you have the worksheet too. Here's the key point. If you are in class, you'll have access to CDs, which have a bunch of files on them. If you open up the CD, it's going to look like this. And you would go into the 240 audio files folder on the CD, and then something called sound bites. And there are going to be 126 items here of all different kinds. So many different old things, old shows, and so on. So, for instance, how about Elmo's So Proud? Would I just copy that and take it? You could, or you could listen to it first. Of course, you could do a right click on it and say play with media player or some player, there's real player and so on, depending on what player is available to you. The other one, if you ever see available, is VLC is a good player too, but media player is right here. I play it. Okay, Elmo's So Proud. I'm going to turn my volume up a little bit because if you were listening to things speaker, of course, you're going to be listening to them yourselves with your headphones. Maybe I think that's a good one. Maybe I'm going to choose a, how about this one? This is a famous one. Play with media player.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Okay. And so on and so forth. What kind of story are you going to tell? What is it? There's all kinds of Star Trek ones. There's Doctor Who ones. There's Arnold Schwarzenegger ones. There's, I don't know. Okay. Or let's say you don't have the CD. Okay, no big deal. Go to our Brightspace page and go to the regular download area, right? So this is the resources for assignments and the handouts, resources, and presentations. And then the Google Drive is right here. Click on the Google Drive and go down and find the CD sound bites, which is down here. And here are 126 sound bites. And you can preview them right here in the drive if you wish. If you click on the little dots or do a right click on them, you would choose Open with Preview. And that would do it. Let me find a good one. How about this one? Open with Preview.
Dexter, would you mind doing something for me?
Anything, what?
Get the heck out of here.
Okay, and that's that one. Then I can X out of that and go look at a different one. One way or another, you're going to select them. You're going to grab a pile of them, 7, 10, a dozen, or you're not sure. Grab them, put it in a folder. You should have made folders for this. Make a project folder at least. I like having a grading folder. You could even do more complicated folders to keep all these files separate or something, and then someplace else to save your project and so on. But keep yourself organized. The key point there is that you have to make sure you actually know what file you create, and that's the one you put on Brightspace. Okay, so eventually when we're done, you collect a whole bunch of files. And what are you going to do with them? Okay, I have collected a bunch of files. Where did I put mine? No. I put mine in my Montage project folder, and I made 3 folders within it called grading, originals, and working. And then I put all mine in originals, which you could do. So I'm going to start with Daffy. Now I could drag and drop this, or I could do file, import audio. I usually in the instructions tell you file, import audio, although it means you have to kind of navigate to find it. I've been here already, so it's right here. How about this one? Daffy, you're despicable. I'm opening it up. And you'll see these files, when you open them to begin with, they're probably going to have some tip and tail, which you want to delete at least the beginning of, and you could delete the back also. And they're also generally a little small. I would select the entire thing with a double click in it and go to every one. You're going to go to Tools, Effect, Volume Compression, Normalize to -1 is good, and Apply. Makes it a little bigger. You can listen to it.
You're despicable.
Okay, good. And then I'm going to file import the next one. And let's say, let's do this. Dexter, would you mind doing something for me? I'll open that one up. Okay, and here's the problem, of course. If we've just played them like this, imagine I'm going to get rid of my tip and tail a little bit if I want to. By the way, do you see how I delete that? I select and delete it. You do have another option. If you hover over the edge, oops, not like that. Over the edge of the clip, you can actually also just make the clip smaller to a certain point too. Hovering over the edge of the clip, see how my cursor changed? You could do that as an option too. So if I played these right now, the problem is they play at the same time.
You're despicable. Would you mind doing something?
All right, so that wouldn't be very good. By the way, this is also too small here. Once I've normalized once, I can just repeat normalize. So I don't want them to play at the same time. I want this one to play and then the next one to play, right? So I can grab this clip handle up here. See how it highlights when I grab it and turns into a hand? And just yank it down. So it starts at about where that one ends. And I can have a little bit of overlap there with the dead air or not, depending on how I want to. In fact, you see, now it's really not that important that I delete out the dead air at all, right? And then I will grab another one. File, import audio, or I could drag and drop. And it's going to make it drop it down into the third clip here. And let's say I'll use excuse me. Okay, it puts it down here. I'll select the whole thing and effect. I'm going to repeat my normalize. It's not going to change. Yeah, I changed it somewhat. Yeah, I did. And the problem here is that I need to get it down there, right? I could zoom out. I could zoom out. It could show me the entire project, which it kind of is. I could zoom out even further if I wish. And I could grab my handle. I could yank it down, and I can pull it up. All right, and I'm going to overlap that a little bit because I didn't bother deleting out my tip and tail, and so on. So now I have got 3 clips that are going consecutively. I can delete this extra track when I'm done. And this is the checkerboard idea. Well, I would call it checkerboard. It goes here, there, and there, and there, back and forth. We only need two tracks to be doing this. But that's how it's going to work. And we'll play these all together now. Oops.
Dexter.
Actually, I went back to the beginning.
You're despicable. Dexter, would you mind doing something for me?
Anything what?
Get the heck out of here.
Excuse me!
So on and so forth. I don't know sure what kind of story this is telling. You can tell whatever story you want to tell with yours, the ones that you picked. And just keep on going, back and forth, bringing more in. And eventually you get so you're all done. You would have saved your project as you go. And you can then when you're all done, you're going to select everything. I did a Control-A to select it all. All right? Or you could do Select All right there. Same thing, Control-A. And then we're going to go to Tracks and Mix. And we're going to mix and render. That's the one we want. Mix and render. So what this is going to do is it's going to collapse all these together and make it into a single file. Join them all together into a single file. I only have 3. You'd have at least 7. Maybe you'd have even more than that. Oh, by the way, do you want to get a little more into this? Do you want to like cut some of them up and only use portions of them for some reason to tell your story? You can do that. You don't have to use the entire of each track too. But you are recording which ones you used in which order on your sheet you're going to hand into me, and what the title is of your conversation or topic. So mix and render turns it all into one file, and then you're going to export your MP3, and that's the one you're going to make sure that that's the one that you put on Brightspace for the assignment.